joining us here on a brand new edition of the CNBC-TV18 Weekender. Yes, the show is back. And to start things off, we have the management of Titan with us in their beautiful, beautiful Bangalore office. Let's go. We're here right outside the beautiful cabin of Titan Company's MD. He's waiting for us. Let's go in. Mr. C.K. Venkataraman. What does C.K. stand for? Not a lot of people know this.
It stands for Coimbatore Krishnamurthy Venkataraman. It's quite a mouthful, right? What happens is in the boarding card, it gets expanded like that. And there was a recent trip I made where they forgot to put a gap between Coimbatore and Krishnamurthy. So you can imagine a string of letters from C all the way to Y, which was some 30 letters or something, one word, one
That's
name,
correct.
presumably one name.
Yep.
And the air hostess was welcoming each passenger by calling out the name.
Yeah.
And looking at the boarding card and said, Mr. Malhotra, Mr. So-and-so, like that. She looked at it and looked at me and said, okay, go.
Is the length of the pandemic impacting your business now, or everything is back to normal?
I think in our minds, we have certainly put COVID behind us and got used to it as another kind of illness that we have to live with.
And has that reflected in the business as well? First quarter numbers, phenomenal numbers. Has that sustained into the second quarter, the momentum? Your thoughts for the remainder of this year?
You know, very, very bullish about, as we speak, as well as the second half of the year. Even the mood or message from the recently concluded jewelry show. It happens, annual show, which happens in Mumbai. The orders placed by the jewelers on the vendors is an indication of their positivity. It's very, very strong.
You're not too far from the 35 to 40,000 crore revenue mark this year.
I guess not. I think, you know, the first quarter was a very, very good beginning. And we're just continuing that thinking, certainly. Because finally, we still have 8 months left or thereabouts. And irrespective of how each month may play out, it is our desire to, thrust. And our focus is rather more on sales growth, rather more on gaining more competitive advantage in each of the businesses, rather more on building the Horizon 3 and the Horizon 2 businesses, and worry less about the profitability, certainly in FY23. Because if we do all that, it can go like this FY25 and thereafter.
So you have the 60,000 crore target for the jewelry business.
In the, Ajoy spoke of 2.5x in the investors conference, and we announced a big one for the international business, a big one for Taneira, and so on and so forth.
So let's continue this conversation as we go along. So what struck me the most about this place is it's called integrity. And, it brings such a smile to my face for a company which really stands by integrity to actually name their office Integrity. How did that come about in this office?
So we had started a competition for this, and Bhaskar had sent a mail to various employees, all employees, to suggest a name for this place. And if I remember right, there was a Singapore trip for the winner. And a lot of names came, and they were Titan this, Titan that, or whatever it is, and nothing was really striking. And one day, Bhaskar, I think it must have sort of occurred to him in his sleep. He woke up and must have got it, and then he mailed us saying, look, I think we should name this place.
So did he go to Singapore after that?
We said it has to be special, and each one of us had started dreaming about what it should be like. Like my own thing was that I should be able to, sit with my feet in the water and talk about some, subject, some creative discussion or something like in a college, right?
Definitely the most beautiful office that I've seen in India at least. And if I had to compare it to another office that I have seen from the outside, not from the inside unfortunately, is the spaceship that Apple has in Cupertino. Was there any influence from the great company there with regards to?
Not really. We've not been there to see that place. But that we are a design company, which is very much central to this. The other thing is that we also wanted to become more sort of vocally a young people's company. We've always been that.
Right. With that Apple comparison, I think you know perhaps where I am getting at the wearables category. What is the wearable of the future looking like? What is Titan doing to be at the forefront of that? Because there would be multiple comparisons with a lot of other technology players who are doing extremely well here.
Yeah, we were actually a late entrant into this, and even as early as or as late as 2019, we were not really well equipped to play well in this. We realized that, and we acquired a company in Hyderabad. We launched a very, very exciting product called the Titan Pay in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. And the Titan Pay is actually a debit card in a watch. It's a payment watch, whereas this was embedded in the watch, and all you had to do was do this without taking that effort on that machine. And just an example how Titan thinks about customers and conveniences for customers or solutions and builds products upwards.
You said that you would like to work in a place where you can dip your feet in the water, and I'm tempted now. It's a little sunny as well.
So,
You want to do that? Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala passed away. Would you have any story of the time that you spent with him?
Rakesh was such a wonderful person also, apart from the legendary wealth creator that he was. And I've been to his home multiple times, and he has been such a fabulous host there, giving me the tastiest of mangoes, from wherever he got them. And even in the most challenging questions that he had asked us, it was always with respect to us as management. So, lot of memories and really heartbroken.
They still hold about 5 crore shares in the company, 5.05 crore shares. Has there been any word on the future of their holding?
Actually, we are not really looking at that. Like I had said in a recent interview, Rakesh believed so much in the fundamentals of Titan Company, right? And finally, his belief, sort of proved right, and the fundamentals of Titan Company continued to be as strong, if not stronger. So there is no reason for anything like what you are describing to happen at all, in my view. But we are certainly not in conversation of any such thing.
It's interesting that, unfortunately he didn't live to see the vision that he had for India and for Titan as well, the vision that you guys have, almost 60,000 crores in jewelry sales by FY27. You do all the math together, comes to around 75,000 crores. Put all the verticals together in terms of revenues. Is that the number which is...
Obviously, in the investor conference, the parts were there. Like we did say 10,000 crores MRP from watches, 2.5x from jewelry, so much from Taner and all that. You add all that, it is taking us to the ballpark of that. So it's just that the 10,000 of watches, there is no 77,000 sitting in my head for me to confirm. That's it.
I completely understand that. So, what we want to know then is that at that level of scale, you would have all the pieces in place and all the pieces in scale as well. So what would the operating leverage come to be? And your margins currently are at the highest that we've seen at least in the last many quarters, if not history. So what would they be then at that level?
I would say that that scale represents the potential to significantly improve our profitability.
And you also entered the cost cutting program right before the pandemic happened, and that helped you during the pandemic as well. How much of those synergies have been realized already? How much of that is yet to be realized?
Some of it continues. Some of it was situational, which was required for that period. But what we've ended up achieving is the ownership of profit and balance sheet. And that is the backbone of our predictable continuing performance.
Since you spoke about ownership of the gross margins, the EBITDA margins among the employees, etc., what I wanted to understand is that CaratLane is growing extremely fast. It's broken even, and it's also contributing to the operational performance of the company very well. At that scale, are you tempted to buy more of CaratLane?
CaratLane is actually a fabulous decision that we took in 2015. We are in a very comfortable position in any case.
Yeah.
And Mithun and team and Titan management, some of us are also on the board of CaratLane. So we've worked so well together to capitalize on the synergies of this. So there is nothing like that at the moment to share.
I gathered that you are a singer. You love Mohammed Rafi's songs.
Venkat the pest. Yeah.
But now we're by the water. We have our feet dipped here. There is the sound of the water. You want to hum a couple of lines?
अभी न जाओ छोड़ कर के दिल अभी भरा नहीं अभी न जाओ छोड़ कर के दिल अभी भरा नहीं.
Wow.